Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 13th edition of Byzantian Brewscast with your host, Kader Jeksak.
I'm Byzantian Dev.
Hey. Hello. Hope you're doing the very good. What have we been up to this week?
I have been, well, let's see, not a lot midweek, apart from the boring bits. But yesterday I was doing a thing at was volunteering down at the Moseley Rugby Club because they need someone to be the team mascot for the day.
Ah,
I didn't have to pay
nice.
a ticket or anything, so yeah, it's a good deal already. Didn't have a pay ticket, and I got a free lunch for helping
Ooh.
out. So that was nice. I got a few dogs. Some of them weren't fans. Some of them were like my best mate.
Oh.
One of them, one of them was one of them liked so much he was trying to hump my leg, which was a little bit awkward, but oh well.
Oh dear. Uh,
Dogs. Oh yeah,
this is
it's
true.
been a dog-heavy weekend. Oh yeah, D&D was last night. That was nice.
Nice.
It's near, campaign's nearing an end now.
Oh. You got any sort of post-campaign plans? Someone else
Yeah,
taking over, or?
yes, yeah. I'm going to keep the setting
Mm-hmm.
because I like it, but I've done it in like the Ravenloft way. That yeah, you've technically overthrown the power that is, but who's going to be the new one? And someone's character's already joined what they probably know is an evil cult. So guess who's the villain next campaign around?
So, uh-oh, oops.
Oh yeah, and I've already written up their stat block for when I do if I ever run that campaign. So
Nice.
good for me. As
So,
I've been even as well a bit. I've also the AI thing that song AI has been
yes, I
taking
was
up a bit of
gonna
my time.
say about that. It's been quite interesting having a play around with that. I've made some like I expanded on one of your things, the Eurobeat thing, and I did the some like Dark Souls inspired stuff, which is quite funny.
Oh, right.
Hmm?
So just on it right now. It's been a bit weird.
Ah,
Yeah. So basically, it's called pseudo AI. It's really fun. It's just it because give it a it's like a novel today. Give it a prompt and it
ah.
comes
Yeah,
up
so
with
basically it's called pseudo
like a
AI.
full minute and a
It's
half worth of actual
re
song. It
Hmm.
sounds almost like a human's written it.
Almost, not quite, but almost.
It can yeah, there's some really stupid things where you can give it anything you like. I'll give it some really dumb prompts to see what it will do.
Yeah,
Stuff like write a carry on. Sorry.
I made a Yu-Gi-Oh 5D's opening, but it's airplanes instead of motorcycles, which is quite funny. And Shadow the Hedgehog goes to Denny's was a favorite. It's done in like that in the actual like Sonic Adventure 2 Crush 40 style. It works too well. It's really dumb.
It's really good at pop rock
Mm.
and pop punk. Um, I haven't done that with extensions. I've given it a go, but it's not really come out quite right.
Yeah, you have to sort of play around with it. So you have to
What's
sort
going
of,
on there?
with an extension, you have to sort of set it from like the beginning.
Hmm.
So don't set it from the end because it will just like get confused. You have to sort of adjust the timer for where it starts from just a little bit after the start, and then it will add the whole thing on properly. Also, you have to tell it to end. Is another annoying bit that I found out later. You have to tell it
They're
to
breaking
end.
up a bit.
Oh, sorry. Oh. I don't know how that's happening. Oh, it could be just my microphone. Hold up. Is it
Oh
everything?
yeah,
There we go.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
which was again? No, never mind. Okay, let's try it tomorrow.
What? No, 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 no. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. What's happening? Oh, for 1 second. I gotta go smack my router
Is
a
everything all
bunch.
right?
No, I've got a. Basically, ooh, my internet seems to be really fucking slow, so I'm gonna have to like fucking smack my router a bunch.
Okay, technical method.
Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, it was just my internet speed was really fucking slow for a second because I have to, I have to put my router in a very, very specific place so that I have good internet connection. It's really stupid.
That's odd.
Yep. Blame 3, my internet provider. Yes, I'm calling them out. Oh. Anyway,
Okay, so we're back.
it might be a bit intermittent a little
Yes.
bit still.
All right then. Well, hopefully not.
Anyway, where were we? Something about. Oh yeah, the pseudo AI. Yes.
Yeah, the extensions didn't quite work for me to give it a go the first time. Not sure what's happened there.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't hear when I said try when it the timer thing at the
No,
start.
that's me
Oh,
pressing out. Yeah.
yeah. So you want to set it to not quite the beginning, but a little bit after the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. I because I had to do that with Midnight Drifting.
Okay.
Um,
Give that a go
I
tomorrow.
should make. I might put Midnight Drifting in the Discord as well. So if you want to hear some stupid AI music, just check out the join the Discord. Join the Discord. We'll add some stuff there. Maybe. Hopefully. Possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, doesn't matter. I've done the ideas as well. I've been testing it with some really stupid prompts, like
Yeesh.
an upbeat pop 80s pop song about farting at a funeral.
uh, one of our mutual friends discovered.
Or a sad country song about wanting to return a library book.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah,
think yeah,
April's
yeah.
ideas.
One of our friends, April,
Uh,
later has discovered that it can play Vocaloid music, which is hilarious. It understands Miku. It understands Miku, which is perhaps a terrifying thought.
it's not bad at 80s arena rock as well. That's quite a funny
Hmm.
one. To try and interpret an 80s like arena rock song about petting a dog.
Hmm. It's surprisingly good at like dark orchestral music too. I don't know if it quite understands Latin. I
What's
mean,
it?
I don't understand Latin either, so I don't know if it's actually pronouncing anything right. But it does sound cool, and that's what matters. It does sound like some of the stuff I made does sound like something you'd probably see at the end of a Final Fantasy game. So I'm happy about that.
It's really good at country.
Yeah,
That's every time around. It's always been a decent country song.
I kind of want to
But the
see.
best thing generated with it so far is. Oh, oh sorry, I think I'm getting some lag.
Oh, yeah. No, that's just me. That's just me. I'm
There we go. Oh, that's fine. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
go on.
The best prompt I've given it so far was a a sad country song about wanting to return an overdue library book, but the library's closed.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's, it's like it's really like sad and it's like okay, mate.
Hmm. So yeah, that's what was it? Soho. I can't remember. I've already forgotten. My brain is not working
Suno
today.
AI.
Suno. Yeah. Right. Uh, what do we have a tabletop book club this week?
Picked something up that I did on my Charity trips, a bit of
Mhm.
Games Workshop history.
Ooh.
So do you remember they don't re I don't think they've touched in about a year because it's I don't know. It's not a franchise that's done much lately.
Mhm.
Remember when they did when Lord of the Rings games got a load of coverage
Yeah.
during the time the movies were still coming out.
Yes.
Found for pretty cheap the Two Towers tabletop book, which is quite a fun read. It's a
Ooh.
time capsule of what
Mhm.
was at the time new.
Nice.
Yes,
Sa-
it's honestly quite a neat little system. I've played a few games in it, and it's really easy to pick up.
Mhm.
Um, I will say that it is a little, understandably, it's a little bit leaning on the fact that there are named characters in it, and they
Yeah.
kind of do overshadow everything else. Uh, and if you're not playing certain factions, you're just not getting access to good spellcasters because
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
of the Rings, and there was like five really good spellcasters anyway.
Yes. Our party wizard is
The other thing I did notice
Radagast the
with it
Brown.
is he was one of the good ones, one of the three.
Oh.
Um, yeah, yeah. You get the three main ones,
Mhm.
like your only real way of getting access to decent spellcasting. The others are sort of like there to make infantry slightly better or not
Uh-huh.
run away as much.
Oh.
Remember the orc shamans, that was their entire thing, was make the orcs not run away if they lose a fight. Because, yeah.
Mm.
Another thing I did find that is having armies with a good defense was obviously good, but it would, if you had two armies with high defense, what you have is a lot of heavy armor infantry. They'll win the fight against each other, but they can't usually kill each other.
Yeah.
Because you need to, because it's usually the old Warhammer rules of if it matches, it's a 4. If there's a difference, it's slightly harder to deal any damage.
Mm.
So if it's a one-on-one, a fight between two heavily armored units can go on a while and be a lot of pushing back,
Yeah.
which basically means they have to move an inch away because they've lost the fight. So it's the movement phase is really, really important,
Makes sense.
especially for like getting models surrounded. Um, so the game can be really, really quick, or it can be a proper slog depending on the armies.
Hmm.
Like the dwarves had like a defense of 7, so no matter what, you were
Ooh.
pretty much rolling nothing lower than a 5 to do it. And
Yeah.
that's the basic as well. The is the dwarf armor just that good? Um, also, it's a really fun time capsule because it's got all the. Oh, here's a bit of history. It's got like it's it still has a page on mail order in.
Oh.
I never I'd never around to use that.
Hi, can I order some
Got
things,
like
please?
a mail order page of the addresses. What if I called that now? I could call it the stream. Um, and
Hi,
that's
can
like all this.
I?
It's got a whole section on mail order. That's quite fun. It's quite depressing though if you've ever done it because got some of the old magazines as well that they used to sell at the White Dwarf ones,
Uh-huh.
and they'd always open
Oh.
it with like the prices of miniatures at the time.
You look back and
Looking back on it, I'd love some of them prices now.
yeah,
It's like here's a box of 20 miniatures. That'd be 20 quid's worth. Sounds all right, really. Um,
that
it's
would
not that
be
now. We're going to workshop at all. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Gone, far gone in the wistful eyes are the days of cheap miniatures. Sorry, that was a word salad.
Yeah,
Oh well.
yeah. It's honestly a really neat little system.
Hmm.
But I do think it's certain armies. I wouldn't say it's the most balanced system because certain armies they just get things better on average.
Hmm.
You do have to pay the points for it, but I mean, for instance, if you wanted to, you could play half. You could play hobbits
Yes.
Just hobbits. Which, while being funny, uh, admittedly weren't fantastic.
Hmm.
But, like, because they had like a in order to win a fight, it's based on what the model's fight value is, and
Hmm.
the average is 3 usually. The only thing that can think of that has 2 is most hobbits and quite a lot of goblins.
Yeah.
So the odds of them actually winning a fight are pretty slim. If it goes to a draw, highest value wins anyway. So unless you are surrounding something, you are not going to be winning that fight. Really is
Hmm.
the literal hobbits from the movie. So they are absolutely pants at fighting. They were, however, very cheap, and they could all throw stones, which was something. If you want to be annoying,
Hmm.
they did have decent shooting though, because it's sort of how how like the new Games Workshop profiles have it like like or Age of Sigmar, where it's the flat 4+ or 5+, whatever.
Yes.
They sort of did that with Lord of the Rings way before, so the shoot value is a 3+ or a 4+ or 5+ to hit. Hobbits was always 3+, so they were actually very good at that. But then the bows had a strength of 2, so you'd hit a lot, but you wouldn't necessarily do a lot of damage with it.
Hmm.
So
Hello,
yeah,
Terry. Welcome to
really
the
wonky
stream.
faction if you want to play the no. Also want to play Moria. The Moria goblins were quite fun, but again, the average goblin was pants at fighting. That's why you got all the cave trolls and the Balrog and all the other stuff from the movies. That was
Yes.
actually quite good. The goblins themselves were pretty terrible.
Hmm.
But that's again why they were like half the price of the most expensive other stuff going.
Yeah.
It's a really fun little time capsule book. You can get PDFs of their other books, like their other army books at the time.
Hmm.
They're not half bad. Because they do because sometimes when the movies didn't cover everything, they expanded it a bit, gave some random character that was in like one shot, uh, like a name. So it wasn't just random orc. They actually might give them a name, maybe a special rule. They did expand it a little bit as far as they could. It's quite impressive given that the franchise kind of stopped making anything really worth it in like 2006. So that was it's quite a good little system. I do like playing it, but this particular book, the Two Towers one, very much of its time, but it's quite a nice little read.
Nice. Sounds good. Um, I don't actually have a. Unfortunately, I don't have a book this week, but I have been thinking about getting this probably after I'm back from the convention. Um, it's called One Honk Before Midnight. Have you heard of this?
No, is it an indie one? Sounds like an indie
Yeah, it's
one.
an indie TTRPG. It's a very like rules light PDF thing. I want to get like a physical copy of it though because I prefer physical
Okay,
tactile books. One Honk Before Midnight is a new adventure
okay.
set in the idyllic town of Stafford on Gander. In its own system, the Honk system perfectly suited the chaos that is only a true goose can invoke. So the players play as geese, and there are different kinds of geese, each one having a H, O, N, and K scale. H is for heroism, O is for observation, like perception, N is for nimbleness, and K is for chaos, which it says here. The most chaotic geese could do anything if they put their minds to it, as long as it's like a chaotic thing. Like basically, it's the kind of you could do it if you do it in a stupid fucking way, which I love.
Okay,
You've
so
got
which con is
yeah, so we've got Greylag, Fighting Geese, Emperor Geese, Canadian Geese, Golden Geese, and of course the Silly Goose, which has a 0 on everything except Chaos.
a city goose?
Uh,
Oh dear.
but yeah, I will link you this so you can see it for yourself.
So I am morbidly curious. Which con would this be from?
So next week I'm going to what's it called? Command Fest, Birmingham, for Magic. It's a Magic the Gathering convention.
Oh yeah.
So we won't be doing a podcast next week because I'll be there basically all day.
You'll be down there.
Mhm.
Okay.
But hopefully I'll have some fun things to report,
All right.
which will largely sort
I'll,
of
I'll have to give that a
boil
good read.
down. Yeah, largely it will boil down to me getting my ass handed to me in games, but that's fine. I don't mind that. But yeah, it's you know, unfortunately it is a system you kind of have to sort of pay into, but I don't mind that because I mean people should get paid for doing work, you know. Um, but it does look a very promising
Yeah.
system. I I love
Well, hang
how
on. I
there's this whole section on uh a goose making a catapult, and there's a whole like DM tooltip. You may wonder, can't geese just fly? Well, yes, they can, but do they know that? The tooltip of just I mean, you can fly, but I mean these are geese. They're not that bright.
okay.
These are also the people who did the Tales of the Honk Apocalypse, um, 5e adventure, which
Oh, okay.
is
So
the
they
one
have
with the
they have a
goose
theme.
hydra in it. Yeah, they have a very much a theme. A theme that I very much love because it's funny. Anyway, yeah, I will after the convention. I'll probably pick up a copy of One Honk Before Midnight. They've got a Kickstarter at the moment for physical copies, and I will probably be like buying into that because I would like a physical copy of this. I'm okay with PDFs, but like if I'm at a game, if I want to run a game, I kind of like having the physical material. So I that
Yeah, I think it's
mm.
the same pricing as the one I bought from the Gamescom.
Oh,
The solo Hellbilly one. They all seem to be £8.
mm.
It's
It's a good price
interesting. That
range.
must be a short book.
Yes,
What I'm thinking. Apparently so.
but I figure it might be good for a crack with
Uh,
the D&D group sometime. So what's next? What's next in our systematic thing? Right, critical fumble. Do we have a critical fumble this week? This week?
I can think of a couple.
Ooh.
One's kind of funny and one's well, I don't find it very funny. It's about
Oh.
something I give a bit of I kind of care about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was said before was that I was mascotting around the match day on yesterday.
Yes.
I was trying to be something of a good luck charm. I don't think it worked because the went was nothing to 52,
Ah.
which isn't quite, which you know, it's not. Thankfully, it's not one per try, but still, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It, it didn't go well. To put it that way.
Aw.
So that was fun. Well, at least I think I did my job right. At least people seem to have a plenty of the photos will speak to that one.
Mm.
Um, but hopefully the team does better next time round. I think the next one's a couple of weeks.
Ah.
The other one is this is something I should have been excited for, but I'm really not. There is a new Tomb Raider tabletop game coming out,
Oh.
which is by Evil Hat Productions, which is the same people who did the Fate system,
Oh.
which I quite like, at least the
Mm-hmm.
original. Um, I tend not to follow them much nowadays because they did a version of basically Fate but Cthulhu edition,
Yes, I've seen
but
that.
they were like yeah, they were overly apologetic about the whole subject, and it's like, well, yeah, it was of the time, and historically, even by the standards of the time, people were well accepting that, yeah, this guy is racist even for us. This is kind of dumb. Um,
Mm.
they were overly apologetic. They didn't do a great job of it. Kind of rubbed people the wrong way. I can forgive them for that. That's fine-ish. But this new one's it's not great because, right? Um, I appreciate not everyone's played the Tomb Raider games, even any of them. But
Mm-hmm.
what would you what was the first thing that you'd think would have been a tabletop game about tomb raiding?
Exploring tombs? You would think.
Yes, that's yeah. You're half right. Um, for some reason, whoever wrote this particular game decided that they don't like, the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft actually raiding tombs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it the it is keep in mind they haven't changed the name, so it's still called Tomb Raider. But the Tomb Raider RPG is not in fact about raiding tombs.
Uh-huh.
It's about whatever finding the truth means. It sounds a bit like, conspiracy theory, like red
Yeah, that
tape
just
laws
goes like,
kind of stuff.
like
But okay,
they've managed to like correct one problem, air quotes, and create an entirely different problem.
need another one.
Like, you could just say,
Yeah,
discovering archaeological finds. Uh, I get there's like this negative connotation with the British Museum effectively stealing artifacts that should belong to their native countries, I guess. But like to go in like the completely opposite
and
direction
this is
and
also yeah.
it's kind of a bit confusing. Like that's a bit confusing in your wording.
Also, the point I was going to is it's also, not real artifacts. It's very much fiction.
Yeah, and it's also
So it's a bit
considering
like,
like if we're going by, I mean, admittedly, um, the game side of things has been like modernized and modernized and modernized to the point, kind of like The Simpsons, where it's like Laura hasn't gotten older per se. She's just got born later and later on, which is weird. But like in the first game, it was very much
oh, they kind of
that was what they did at the time, kind of thing. Doesn't Yes, it might not be a good thing, but that's just a product of its time. You want to try and say that same kind
oh,
of
yeah,
thing
it's
to
very 90s.
the Mummy movies would not work if someone wasn't going in there trying to steal shit. You know?
Yeah, they're based off the last reboot one as well. So the one with the bow and arrow. Um,
Mm. Katniss Everdeen Light, effectively.
yeah. The thing is,
Uh,
I actually didn't mind the first game in that trilogy. That was okay. I thought,
it
you know what,
was.
there's potential here, and
It was a bit.
it
I
never really hit that potential after.
I think the problem is they kind of like try to ham fist in like survival mechanics and just eh
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
was kind of like
After
at
the
the
first game, it
yeah
seemed a bit
because this was
more.
like after the point where everybody was doing survival fucking games, and it just was getting to the point where it's just kind of like, why are you shoehorning in survival aspects into this game for no reason? It just doesn't fit. It's just so ham-fisted.
Apparently, just read a few quotes apparently from the class system,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a bit like, okay, um, it's a little bit like if someone were to tell you this is what they were about, you would say, "Are you all right?" You know what I mean?
Oh, go on.
Right. So apparently have the one called. Apparently you have a class called the Companion. Don't know what that could be
Oh,
anything, but
okay.
okay. But it's a serial people pleaser with the biggest hero complex I think I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
Their self-sacrifice may be all maybe all-consuming, and they think about self-inflicted martyrdom. It's a bit like, all right, mate,
Yeah,
calm down. Um,
I guess they're trying to like refer to that kind of trope of that one guy who will just take a bullet for Lara for no fucking reason whatsoever, who then comes back like 2 games later
to be
completely
fair,
fine.
uh, so that was
Uh,
one of the things about that reboot I actually quite liked
mm,
was that I think his name was Jonah, like the one friend that's carried on after the first game.
yeah.
He was like a really normal dude. So when I was doing all this like weird stuff and fighting paramilitary organizations and discovering that, supernatural myths are in fact real, Jonah's like, no, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like when Lara's being all conspiracy theorist, he's like saying, look, you need to chill. She, he's like the normal dude that they paired up with her, which I didn't hate. Um, yeah, it just seems a bit of a. The only problem with it is why would you play a Tomb Raider game where you don't raid tombs?
Yeah, like,
Doesn't
huh?
It's literally the name. It's literally the name. Um, it's like let's make a Sonic game, but he's got arthritis and he's 80 years old.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
No
just
one's gonna really buy for that because
how do you do, fellow kids? Uh,
it's a little backwards, and it's really annoying as well because they recently, not too long ago, they released the remasters of 1, 2, and 3, which they're really
yep.
good. They didn't change the game much.
Hmm.
I mean, there's the option for modern controls if you want them.
Yeah.
Uh, the game is kind of built around old controls, so a little easier with tank controls. So those are actually really faithful. All they did was modernize the graphics.
Yes, and they give
Everything else is
you.
untouched.
I heard they give you the
It's
option
really good.
to play with the old graphics as well, kind of like how they did with the Halo Master Chief Collection, so you
Yeah,
can see how things are. It's like you can go
yeah,
back and oh, this looks interesting. How far we've come,
yeah.
and
I think they did a really good job of it.
the funny thing is with the games, I heard as well that they added the disclaimer at the beginning about, hey, this was kind of a thing of the time sort of thing. Why didn't they do that with a fucking board game? It's like, oh, this,
Yeah,
we don't do this kind of stuff anymore because you realize it's wrong, but, product of its time kind of thing. Why don't you just do
they
that
did
with.
do a disclaimer, but
Yeah.
the disclaimer was a bit more like they said it was colonialist and all, and a lot of buzzwords, which sometimes I take as a sign that this
Hmm.
game is a bit more focused on making things real world politics than making a fun game. So I tend to opt out very quickly after that.
Hmm.
It's a bit of a shame because I think it's the kind of game that should have been made for me, or people with my interests, but not after the
I
reveal that it's not even remotely about the core concept of the franchise.
Yeah, I think it's just like if they'd just done a disclaimer and then just left it that with the board game too, it would have been fine. Like, at the end of the day,
I
that's
could forgive
fine.
it
Yeah.
if like one person on the team insisted a disclaimer, I could ignore it and go cool. But as long as it feels like a Tomb Raider game, I'm not going to complain.
Hmm.
Um, uh, yes, I think you're right. They're very much overcorrected, and weirdly acted like the Tomb Raider games were, you know, based on hard archaeology, which
No.
not really not. Unless
Yeah,
unless Atlantis is real.
I remember the last
Um,
time I went on an archaeological dig trip to Egypt and had to fight a giant fucking golem. I remember that. Not.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless the Egyptian gods are real, and as is Atlantis, and dinosaurs are still about somewhere near the Great Wall of China, then it is very historically accurate if that's true. I
Yeah.
don't think that's the case.
Uh, anyway, my critical fault. I have a
Yeah,
few
so I think
actually.
yeah.
I have a few. So,
Oh,
first of all, Konami has released a new ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I've been checking on
oh,
it.
wonderful.
It hasn't fixed.
Hey,
It hasn't fixed anything. It hasn't fixed anything. The most powerful deck at the moment is
oh,
still the most powerful deck, and because of another ban they put on the list for other things, it might actually be stronger now. Actually,
oh dear,
uh,
that worked.
the reason everyone's
That's
giving
all right. I
for.
don't really.
Yeah, so the problem is that the two sort of the main deck that is sort of like taking up like about like 50 to 60% of the format, that's being generous, could be more, is that the cards for it have only recently come out, so Konami's still potentially making money off of them, and so doesn't want to ban anything in that regard. But it's gotten so bad that people are basically playing either that or the most horrible stun, slow the game down, prevent your opponent playing kind of other deck they call stun, because no one wants because the current because not only is the best deck just really overpowered, it's also really fucking expensive.
Yeah,
Yay!
I don't think that's a coincidence. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's
So what
lovely.
currently? So what currently is the strongest deck going?
It's
So I
called
haven't been
Fire. It's called
playing
Fire
much Yu-Gi-Oh!
King.
Entity Point.
It's called Fire King Snake Eye, so it's fire based. There's a lot of like blowing up your own stuff, especially in really big things. Kind of the standard par for Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays of this ends on like 2 big board wipes and an Omni Negate kind of thing. But this the search card Bonfire is like
Oh, wonderful.
£110 per copy. Probably it's gone up now because it didn't get banned, so it's probably even more expensive now.
Was that similar to the one they were selling in Geek Retreat for like less than 20 quid?
So the
I
fight,
remember
yeah,
seeing that
yeah. There's the
structure on, wasn't it?
basic. Most of the stuff you need for the Viking deck is in the structure deck. The Snake Eye stuff is in the new packs, I think, and
That's
then Bonfire
mhm.
is in Maze of Millennium.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, it's
Hmm.
it's ridiculous. Mm. The other
Hmm.
critical fumble, which is a slightly funnier, is Wizards of the Coast is back again. Of course they are, because we're talking about Magic the Gathering now. Because of course we are. So the new set, Outlaws Thunder Junction, is out.
Hey,
I'm quite liking it. It's cute. It's funny. It has a giant tumbleweed thing in it. It has some cool cactus people. But there's some they added basically because like the epilogue pack didn't do very well last time. They shoehorned in the epilogue pack into the main set in a separate rarity slot, which
I,
means there's a bunch of mythic cards that could appear, which really shouldn't be mythic. Some of them are like some of them are absolutely broken. Some of them are just really shit. They've also got some special guest stuff, which is like cards from older reprints and things, and a nice newspaper thing. The issue is that because they've just changed over to what we call play boosters, the legality of these cards in formats is all over the fucking place. Everything's legal in standard, and people are going apeshit about it because some of this stuff should not be legal in standard.
Till they change their mind again.
Yep, they've changed their mind again and decided
Okay.
fuck the formats, which is gonna completely break everything all over again because that makes sense.
Oh, so, that's good game design logic. That
Yep.
just render your game uh really difficult to play.
Yeah, it's a case of you need like a
Give it the player's job.
PhD to understand what's you need a PhD to understand what's legal in these games anymore. Yes, we're going to make packs more simple again because
Some
people were
would have been
complaining.
it was a kid's game.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know just by looking. Also, they brought back a character that everyone thought was dead in kind of an ass-pull way. So it's like, you know that really big war
Oh, I love
against
when
the
they do
fight.
that.
You know that really big war against the Phyrexians that should have had like real consequences across every plane. Yeah, how about we just don't do that and have
Ah,
the whole invasion thing technically be a good thing since now there's bridges to all the planes, so people just go on fucking holiday where they're like. Yeah, let's not have consequences. No, that would be stupid.
oh no.
Yeah, so the guy that really should be dead that no
But
one likes,
that's
sh- Jace, the asshole, peep into your mind guy,
oh
should be
Jace.
dead. Is not dead.
I thought he could maybe is he marketable? Is that it?
I think
That's
he's
usually
like,
a good reason for
he's
them to
effectively like their mascot, but it looked like they were like replacing him as the company mascot with someone else, and then they just changed their fucking mind again.
oh
Uh,
brilliant. How bad is the ass pull? Because I
I
love like really
it's
terrible
literally
contrived reasons for
it is literally this Phyrexian mind infection is going to take over my brain. Oh, I'll just willpower my way out of it.
oh you can do that, can you?
Oh, I'll just go visit my mum and
Okay,
she'll heal me.
that seemed easy.
I'm sorry, this infection, which only got cured for some
Can't be that
people
bad.
by a guy sacrificing his effective, like, near godlike powers, the Planeswalker Spark, and having literally a MacGuffin character that was the living cure to cure 1 or 2 people. Oh, no. Literally thousands of miles away, Jace is just getting fucking his boo-boos kissed better by his mum. Makes no fucking sense.
One way to solve the problem, I guess.
This fucking, like, Yeah, can you please stick to your plot devices? Please. Your plot devices be
Wait, so why is that
consistent.
even there if they already have a MacGuffin? That feels even
Yeah,
bad enough to have a MacGuffin for it.
yeah. It's like 2 sets ago,
Uh,
this was dangerous enough to require a very specific MacGuffin to deal with. Now it's just like a cough. You've degraded it to it's just a cough. Have some chicken soup and
Phyrexian
you'll feel
cough.
better.
But why is that not a card? Just like some really nice looking chicken soup.
Oh yeah,
That's what it would do.
yeah.
But just like the thought.
It'll be the next Universes Beyond. Universes Beyond Aunt Bessie. Yeah, I'm gonna cast my 3 mana artifact,
That kind of
Yorkshire
sounds like
pudding. Uh,
could be a whole deck of various foods for coughs.
yeah. So, moving swiftly on. Where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. Homebrew of the week. What we got?
Yes, I got the demon because
Noise.
I work on micro themes whenever. So I think that's was like a harpy looking thing with a vault. I come up with a something very much the opposite. Called the bloat demon. It's you wouldn't like imagine like sort of remember the Baron Harkonnen from Dune.
Oh yeah.
Sort of that kind of physique is
Oh.
a it's a demon that looks like a bald, chubby, is it floating fat man.
Kind of looks like a giant man
He's
baby.
just kind of yeah, little squinty eyes,
Yeah.
weird leathery skin. Lives in the like the swampy part of the abyss.
Hmm.
He's obviously well, yeah. The whole thing is he smells bad, he look bad. To not nice looking guy.
Hmm.
The his entire thing they float about and think about eating a lot, like a lot. Like that's their very typical evil demon thing of they just like to consume things, preferably while they're alive.
Hmm.
But because they're kind of gross and chubby, they prefer to do it by like flies. They will just vomit on just vomit acid on them so they
Oh.
can digest them.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's all very lazy. The only thing is they're very slothful. That's kind of the whole like the good half of the gimmick. It's nice and disgusting. Um,
Yeah.
there is something quite like they was like kind of like so comically fat that their arms have sort of like they've become practically just vestigial. So they've like little tiny spindly arms that don't really can't really lift anything. But they're like all torso, all torso and heads. The legs and arms are practically withered away to nothing.
Hmm.
They
Ooh.
look kind of comical. Um, they can only fly though because they've like they're just full of stomach gas. Just allows them to float.
That.
Their rules, however, are kind of make them really difficult to fight, but they're quite funny.
Hmm.
They're so huge, they have advantage on con saves, and they can't be pushed so easily because they're fat. But if they take at least 6 piercing damage, there's a whole random table for mishaps, aka
Oh.
you've pierced this, you pierced. You know, like the image I had in my head was, if you ever seen a balloon that's been not burst fully, but just pierced slightly,
Yeah. It's kind of like just
it sort of
slowly deflate. Just.
whizzes around the room.
Oh yeah. Ah.
And when it flies around the room, I wanted that as a mechanic. So there's a D6 table for it.
Oh.
There's a chance they might just get a face full of gas and it doesn't go anywhere.
Hmm.
There's a chance it might just shoot off 10 feet in a random direction, spewing gas as it does it.
Oh.
My favorite one, it goes 30 feet in a random direction,
Mhm.
just spraying poisonous gas wherever it ends up going in a line.
Ah!
Um, one, which isn't that bad. It just starts springing a leak and actually becomes vulnerable to fire damage.
Makes sense.
And six, which is why it just explodes. In
Bang.
theory, it can have 6 hit points, but it can explode.
Yeah,
Anyone in
yeah.
range, you know, there's an explosion that you were staring in the face of, which is quite fun.
Just oh
The
no.
whole idea came from I just thought, what?
Hmm.
Carry on.
They're just saying, "Oh no, it explode! Oh, oh yeah, it's exploding! Oh no, it's exploding in front of me."
Yeah, and of course, naturally, the whole gas is poison,
Makes
which
sense.
is just super annoying to deal with.
It's,
Not the end of the world either, because this is meant to be a low CR demon, so it's meant to be
mm,
you'd fight more than one of these.
yeah.
It's kind of just a nuisance. Um, the main image I wanted was the image of someone with a spear poking it in the belly, and it comically flies about the room like 30 feet, just spewing gas everywhere, with the fart noise included as well.
It's the
So,
reverb fart noise.
so you get like yeah, so you get like the disconnect of this looks ridiculous, but also it says this is a disgusting demon, and I feel my insides are trying to become my outsides.
Yeah.
It's literally designed to be like a very expendable demon. It's like like the lesser demons that are literally willed into battle just they can die.
Yep.
That's very much their point, but they don't just die; they ideally poison you as well,
Hmm.
which makes really good for players that really like melee characters because
Hmm.
yeah, you can kill them. It's a risk though that you might do yourself more harm than good.
It's the what's the boomers from like Left 4 Dead? Like, don't be too close to them when you blow them up because they
Yeah,
will hurt you a lot.
yep, just a demonic nuisance because I figured
Hmm.
I mean, the demons are all right, but I did think there's not quite enough variety in the old monster manuals, which they're not doing new books, so
Hmm.
we might hold on to them. Might we have the last ones,
Ah. Yeah. So
which is kind of weird to think about, but other than stop there.
so this week, it was kind of not necessarily a rush job. It's just a quick, short thing because I didn't really have time to do another golem. It's called
Yeah.
the Bow of 11 kind. Um, I thought maybe doing a misspelled magic item would be funny. So it's a magical
Right.
longbow. Created basically a mishap by an artificer trying to make a bow of elven kind, accidentally added an extra letter in the runes, and now it's a bow of 11 kind.
Mhm.
It has two effects.
Right.
One, when you make an attack with this weapon while your health points are a multiple of 11, you heal 1d4 plus 1 hit points.
Okay.
And then there's 11. When your attack with this weapon hits a creature whose current HP is a multiple 11, that creature takes an additional 1d6 radiant damage. Who cares about the number 11? I don't know how often those either of those abilities is ever going to come up,
Yeah.
but it means that the player has to keep on
Yeah.
their
It's
toes. Remember what multiple their hit points
to make
are.
sure your hit points aren't your hit points aren't to multiply of 11. That would be that would be a problem.
It's just stupid. Just dumb. Just a dumb basic thing. Yeah, that's my thing for the week. Remember your 11s, folks. They could help you. Okay.
I think Gary Gygax would have done that.
Yeah, rolling for regret. What do we have, folks?
So it's I do have something to be fair because you know that because last week last time I remember there was the Age of Sigmar purge of the old models.
Yes.
You know that also included a load of the old or now old Stormcast Sequitors and some of them as well.
Yeah.
In fact, there's yeah. I happen to have most of my free stuff, almost my free. Well, the stuff I got for cheap from the magazine just so happens to be from that particular that like the whole lot.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
if I was gonna use them, now I now I kind of can't, at least in tournament. So that's
Hmm.
fun. Some of them they're
Yay!
not bad as well, like the Dracul. I remember the Draculines are really cool. There's some really cool, like not quite horses. Um,
Hmm.
but I think some of them aren't legal anymore for tournament, which is like, another company just against deciding to make the tournament format nice and annoying. The new stuff, that's Great Games Workshop though, isn't it? Buy the new stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so that's kind of annoying in hindsight. Uh, Admittedly, though, I'm going through my pile of shame right now, so I'm not doing much buying at the moment, which is good. You got anything?
Uh, Not really this week, to be brutally honest with you. I haven't really picked anything up lately, to be honest, that was new and or bad and or both. But yeah, I have lost something though. That was I can't find one of my miniatures. I don't know where
Oh
it's
no.
gone. Yeah, I don't know where it's gone. I did some clay stuff a while back, and I can't find my I made like a slime stack from one of the Dragon Quest games, and I can't seem to find it anywhere.
Why?
Don't know where it's gone. Oh well.
So you've given it life, and now it has left.
Yep, it's absconded. It's run away. Hmm. Oh well. But beyond that, nothing really to report. What's next? Oh yeah, fantasy film related stuff. Do we have anything on our list? Anything new happening in the world of fantasy films, etc.?
Good. Oh, God, I thought my battery was gone. Right.
Oh, huh?
Hello.
Oh,
Sorry.
there you are. There you're back.
Okay. Cool. Sorry. I could where the signal had gone. Right. Um. Any what I got lined up? Admittedly, I've been quite good about not spending this month, so nothing recent. Just the there's the Stormcast I would have played.
Hmm.
They're no longer tournament legal for because that's always fun.
Yep. Oh yeah, fantasy film, the film night stuff, the film stuff. That's what I just meant.
Civil Night.
Yee.
Yeah, I have been watching some stuff. Yeah, there is a film I've been rewatching through Mystery Science Theatre because occasionally I'll watch the old stuff, and they did a really weird. Um, I couldn't tell you which Eastern European nation made it. Um,
Hmm.
but there's a very corny attempt at an epic fantasy film called The Sword and the Dragon, which they riffed on, and I'm not sure if it's actually that bad.
Hmm.
Normally the films they would laugh at were completely dreadful. But this one was actually like surprisingly well put together, just a bit hokey and trying to tell like a mythical story, and it was honestly not that bad. Kind of recommend it for it's just like it's a surprisingly big movie because they didn't couldn't do CG. They've got a load of extras.
Yeah.
It looks kind of good. Um, it's one of I love it because I'm not sure if I like the movie or not because it's on. It should be terrible, but it's not that bad. It's not. There are funny. There are bits you can laugh about it, but it's not the same way that you can absolutely laugh about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. Another one I would recommend is if you've. It was kind of one of. I'm not sure one of his recent or early movies, but Rain of Fire. If you've ever seen it, it's quite a lot of fun. It's I guess fantasy sci-fi uh, set in set in Britain in the near future, where turns out dragons are in fact real. That
Interesting.
was fun. So it's a post-apocalyptic movie where mankind is living in castles again because there are literal dragons outside.
That makes sense.
But there's more to it than that. But it's
Yeah.
honestly a really, really fun action movie. Um, it's a little bit mid, but it's kind of fun. There was quite a decent video game adaptation for it as well on the PS2. That was all right. Um, graphics aren't great. They don't hold up so good on that front. But the gameplay is fun because you're either shooting down dragons with armored vehicles, which is always kind of fun,
Hmm.
or they had the mode where you can play as the dragons and just set fire to stuff.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
So for a licensed tie-in game, it was honestly like, you know what? I kind of like this.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. That'd be that'd be what I've got for this week. Do you have
Hmm.
any in mind? I think you've been watching that's worth a go.
Unfortunately, not this week because I've been very busy, and nothing's really come up on my like feed or anything like on like Twitter or anything that was like, oh, that's cool. So I'm kind of disappointed they didn't bring out another Yu-Gi-Oh thing. So it's like kind of looking forward to that. I was like, where's the shiny things at? They did do another one. The next one they did was to do with like these like live twin thingies that was to do with like the VTuber archetype, which is kind of like I don't know. It felt a bit more mid than their previous animation works, to be honest. I felt a bit disappointed.
They're not going to do one on Louise or the Beaver Warrior. That'd be quite funny.
Oh, and they should do one on Frog the Jam. Uh,
But I just, for those that don't know, I find the Beaver Warrior card really funny because the original translation was Louise. I don't know why. I just think that's funny.
oh, I that is pretty funny to be fair. Uh,
It's, I think a friend of mine actually got me one of the cards that's just the Louise edition.
oh
It's the
no.
same card. It just has a different title. But
One thing I am interested in looking into, though, I might wind up getting Amazon Prime to watch it. The Fallout series has come out, or is coming out. Well, the first episode aired apparently for the Fallout TV
it's
series.
reviewing quite well so far.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Of course, there's the usual discourse on Twitter of mostly centered around the Brother to Steel, which I'm not surprised. I can't say I'm surprised
It was a
these
bit funny
days.
seeing people. It
So
was a bit funny seeing people freak out because they. I guess some people assumed that because a priest is in it, it must be Christian, even though every faith that's ever existed has had priests.
yeah, it's like, oh, there's a guy with a sensor and he's doing like religiousy things. Yeah, the faction that's the quasi-religious group about fucking what's it called about technology. Yeah, the group that
It just
has
preserve technology.
paladins that
Technology.
calls their names themselves after paladins, scribes, elders, etc. They might they might have some
Yeah.
weird traditions that might well be rooted in Christianity, but they're not necessarily Christian. They're just cosplaying it, if anything. It's,
Also, they thought that just yeah, any. To be fair, I can't think of a faith that didn't have priests.
yeah, I mean you've got
It's like
Judaism
what
has Judaism has
they have a priest.
rabbis, Islam has imams, um, I think Buddhism has
Yeah,
like monks or whatever. I don't know about Hinduism. I'm assuming they have something.
you all have priests.
Yeah, they all have
Every
like
single one of them.
some flavor of
Yeah,
priest, like or preacher or person. Like, what do
yeah.
you mean? You mean you must be
If I thought, I would be thinking if anything from Fallout would set them off, it would be the Enclave.
Yeah, yeah. The
Their
toad.
entire MO is literally the old school America.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they haven't shown up yet, and they just don't.
I feel like it's a
Likely, I reckon a lot of people doing the complaining haven't touched a
yeah.
Fallout game ever, so they don't know they exist.
I feel like it is they haven't shown up yet. The other point of discourse I think in that show was they pretend that like Fallout 1 and 2 doesn't exist. It's like
To be fair, didn't they do that with Fallout 3 though? So there
I
wasn't
mean,
much carry on
yeah,
from
no,
there.
Harold. Harold is the glue that holds that bit
Oh, I
together.
suppose, yeah.
Harold exists. Harold is canon, and I think he talks about a lot of stuff from Fallout 1 and 2. So yeah, Fallout 1 and 2 is very much canon to 3. And I'm assuming that in the series there's probably like subtle nods to 1 and 2 that I've just flung over everyone's heads because people are too focused on wanting to hate on
Yeah,
it.
because they never played them,
Yeah, yeah.
frankly.
They just, this thing from Fallout 1
I
and
can
2
kind
wasn't
of
in there.
see that.
Have you played 1 and 2? No. Then why are you complaining? Why are you complaining that
Probably
something
not.
isn't from 1 or 2 isn't in there when you
I
actually
certainly
haven't
haven't.
even
I started on
played?
3.
Yeah. I haven't played it, but I watched Sips play through 1 as an Intelligence 1 character, and that was very, very funny.
Oh, God.
The dialogue options
I
like,
didn't really play
huh.
that. I played 3. And,
My,
oh,
my,
God, yeah.
my favorite line of dialogue
I
is
played a
whoop
lot. I played a
whoop.
lot of 3.
Yeah, 3 was
And,
good.
what? What?
Whoop whoop.
Oh, my God.
Scorpion and Cave.
No, I remember playing a lot of. Oh, God. I played a lot of 3.
Yeah.
I played a lot of 4, and my favorite is still New Vegas,
Mm.
which ironically has a completely different developer than
Yeah.
the others.
Well, I mean, Obsidian did 1 and 2, as far as I recall. And I think Bethesda helped with New Vegas as
There's a
well,
different
but
studio behind Vegas. Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
it is the least typical of all of them because different people on it.
mm,
Just think it's a nice coincidence that when you get a different team working on the same game, you get a really interesting sequel.
yes.
It's like remember when Disney did the Star Wars Legend, not Legends, but the animated anthology stuff made by non-Disney people. They were
Yeah.
really quite good. And all it took was just giving Disney less creative control over it, and wouldn't you know it, it's suddenly quite good all of a sudden.
Mm. Um, I think
I,
my
I do plan on giving this Fallout series a watch. I think they're going to go heavy on the Fallout 4 bits, though. Like, it's because he had Nick Valentine stand in. If it's not the guy,
yeah,
he's on the marketing a lot,
which isn't
which is fine.
is
I didn't
fine.
mind Nick.
I think my
I think everybody picked him up at one point
my
because he's sort
one
of like tied to the main
yeah
plot.
my one gripe with Nick Valentine is you cannot romance the guy, which is like what the fuck. I know that he's a robot and you can't really fuck robots, but you give me a cool ass
Yeah.
1920s inspired investigator and I can have like an angsty fucking side plot with the guy. What kind of failure is that? Tension in my video game. Uh Instead I just have
I
to
didn't.
uh,
I don't usually end up recruiting because I do quite like the Fallout 4 did one thing right. There was the Brother to Steel would have really well done. That's a good
yes.
quest line. Um, because they make you. I suppose there's no point saying spoilers to a game that
That's
old now,
10
but
years old, yeah.
you do the whole thing with or the whole anti-synth stuff, which I find the synths creepy for the most part, so that's
Hmm.
fine with me. So you, I, they Paladin Dance is great. He's there the whole time while you're going through the ranks. It turns out he's a synth, and you can choose to not kill him.
Yeah.
But if you say I don't want to, he will say you have to do it. Like he could just to live and run away and say I'll pretend to be dead. I like that he's so dedicated to the cause, he would still choose to die.
Hmm.
He
I
didn't
love
like wimp out at that like dramatic tension,
I love
which I
my
thought was
Buzz
fun, really
Light.
nice.
Yeah, I love my Buzz Lightyear shaped friend. I always keep. I always love.
Yeah,
I did when I started the first run. I did Brother of Steel because just like this man, this is just Buzz Lightyear, and he's an amazing. He's just fantastic. I love this guy. Uh, just two soldiers
yeah,
hanging
like
out.
I really like they didn't wimp out on his death.
Hmm.
Two bros in the trenches. Yeah, they didn't wimp out on his death either. Like they
Hmm.
could have had you say, "Oh, okay, you won't kill me. Great. I guess we'll still be friends." But no, they made you commit to it.
Yeah, unless you had like
I kind
really
of
fucking.
appreciate a tough decision mattering.
Yeah, I think I wound up being able to spare him because I'd like really good charisma at the time because I was going for like charisma build. Because I was doing like the whole like, oh yeah, my companions are really fucking
Yeah,
good. Because I was going like the that perk tree, well that perk set. So like, you know, look,
yeah.
let's be real. Like synth bad, but look, I'm a hypocrite. Okay, I like this man. He may not be real, but he may not be the real dance, but he's my dance. Damn it! You never leave a soldier behind, even if they get replaced. Uh,
There's a thought. If there's any plot that I think will draw people to it, um, the I guess the more active political left lot, there's the literal was it the railway?
yeah, the railroad. Yeah, yeah.
They'd be all about that. Railroad, yeah, they'd be all about that.
Yeah, the spies that are really fucking crap at being spies. Uh, like
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
it's they always dress in very distinctive clothes, don't they? These spies.
yeah,
I find them kind of preachy, to be honest. So that's why I never picked it. They're just preachy and kind of annoying. And I kind of find it hard to take seriously when you get attacked by random synths sent by the Institute, and then they're like, "Oh, but they're not bad."
they were literally shooting us like 5 seconds ago. I
Top of the
get
hit
that there's
squad
like,
that are definitely bad.
I get that there's
Not out
like,
to get me.
there's like the whole thing of artificial intelligence and the whole if someone becomes self-aware, do they deserve the same rights as a person because they on all kind of emotional levels near enough might be human if they develop a kind of complex self-awareness, but then that goes to the whole fucking, the
Yeah,
theology and philosophy of do our soul do people have souls, etc., etc. And it's like, does that matter in a political aspect? Should we give them rights even if they don't have soul? It's so complicated, and I'm so fucking glad we're not like in real life at that stage yet, where we have to start thinking about, does artificial intelligence deserve rights? Because that is a fucking kettle of fish. I don't think I could
yeah. The,
get
the thing that
into.
always, yeah, I'm not down for that. The thing that was settled it for me was, well, two things. One, the synth hit squads that can randomly come after you
Hmm.
kind of makes it really hard to see them in a non-aggressive light, to be
Yep.
honest. And also, the Institute's just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like their plan is to replace, like body snatcher style, replace people. I'm not on board with this.
Yeah, and it's
So
also
if they were just making synths, that's one thing. But they're replacing people that are already here.
yeah, for almost seemingly no reason as well. There's a few people you can find out in the world that have been replaced, and they're like just bog standard Joe Blogs people that don't really have any kind of political sway or power or any purpose that the Institute would want to use them for. Like, why are you doing? I haven't even seen the normal person in the Institute when I've been to visit. Why? Why would you do? What purpose did that serve?
Just made robots.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah, they
generation
really should
ones
have
and
just
twos were
made robots
fine.
and called it a day.
Yeah, it's like the Kellogg project of them genetically and well, not genetic, like creating cyborgs. like advancing humanity. That was fine. That's redefining humanity, like in the kind of the cyberpunk kind of fashion. That's what you could call mankind redefined. But now you're just making what not humans. You,
Yeah.
what even do? What even? What's the point of the institute? What's the point? What's their goal? I don't
Yeah, the
know.
plan was a bit like, why though? At least the Brotherhood still know what they're about.
Yeah, I think
To be
I
fair,
think that might
still,
be slightly
they
done
were
on
more
purpose
interesting
though,
than the Minutemen.
because like
Ugh.
if you do the Institute storyline, you can see that none of the fucking groups or divisions in the Institute fucking agree with each other. So no one knows what's fucking going on. Not even they know what's going on.
What do we want?
Yeah. The Minutemen, yeah, the Minutemen
So
were like a wet,
kind of glad I didn't waste my time doing that one. Then.
yeah, the Minutemen were like the wet fart of the Fallout
Yeah,
4.
you go through the effort of reclaiming all their outposts and arming them, reinforcing every single outpost in the wasteland by yourself.
Yep.
And then one raider shows up, and they're like, we need to help them." There's a single raider at the fortified outpost that you reinforced.
Yeah.
They deal with it themselves just this one time. Why am I doing this?
It's weird because in game mechanics, having a higher defense rating is supposed to reduce the chance of getting raided, but it never reduces it to 0. So even you could have like godlike defenses of like a defense rating of 400, and it's like 100 over what it needs to be, and you will still get attacked, and they will still ask you for help. Why? Who the fuck is like attacking the castle?
What?
You know, a fortified military position with like a bunch of turrets and like everybody wearing power armor. Who the fuck would invade that place? Yeesh.
Like that's the ballsiest raider in the wasteland. That
Yeah.
it's crazy, Greg.
Crazy Grig. It'd be like trying to
I'd like
attack the Pridwin.
it would be funny if it was. Yeah. It'd be
Uh,
funny if it was done like it was a legendary raider, just this
yeah.
insane raider who just thought to try it by himself.
Mm. Maybe even do it like as a mini boss
He was
tier
kicked in the
raider.
head by so hard. Yeah, he was kicked in the head so hard he forgot what fear was.
Or even make it like
Now we'll
if
attack
it's gonna
anything,
be like one,
anything at all.
yeah, if it's gonna be like one guy, make it kind of like the almost like the bad soul survivor kind of thing. A guy who's got like fucking 20 different weapons and is like ridiculously OP, who's like basically on par with the player by himself. Fine, that makes sense.
Give him a nerve,
Give him a nerf.
or give him a nerve, and make him trigger happy.
Yeah. The other thing with the Minutemen was like you can do the whole
Huh.
Nuka-World quest line and become like a raider overboss. And the utmost like
Oh yeah,
the utmost Preston gets pissed off for you is, oh, we're not friends anymore. You're still a general though, but we're not friends anymore because you did this, you know, you're a raider boss, and I can't believe you would do this.
I'm gonna
So
strip him of my powers.
you're not gonna strip me of my powers. You're not gonna attack me.
But now I think on it, it's kind of.
What the fuck? Like I would want you to do
I don't think
that.
Preston wanted just to be there.
Yeah. I feel like what they should have done is added like the Raider faction as an alternative to the Minutemen ending so that you could absolutely start make an enemy of the Minutemen because nobody fucking likes the Minutemen because Preston's annoying as shit. I want to go to war
Defend
with
no
the
one
Minutemen.
seems to be fans.
I want to go to war with them.
Wouldn't take long.
Yeah. Like I want to have an evil character go to
Yeah,
war with the
it's
Minutemen.
now that I think on it, that whole start of that quest line's really surreal
Yeah.
because you meet Preston, who's been in charge the whole time. The first thing he does is give a random stranger like command of the Minutemen.
Yeah.
Did he want to be in charge?
I mean, to be fair, like he wasn't in
I don't
charge.
think he did.
He was only like in charge after the whole Quincy situation because like that was a fucking washout. They
Yeah.
didn't, but like he took like 10 people. I guess he'd seen like, oh, this person can actually do shit, unlike me, who, I mean, if you take him as a companion, he can actually do shit himself. So I don't get Preston. Like, you know, I, yeah, the
I
minute,
don't think the writers knew what he was up to either.
yeah,
Just
fair point. I look forward to
I should
seeing,
beat you and want you dead, but no.
yeah, I look forward to seeing
Or maybe
all
the
of
show does it
this.
better. To
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how they tackle this in the TV show, or at least some of these kind
be
of
fair, that might be
problems.
better in the show.
Hmm.
You can see that being easy to fix.
Like a guy who survived Quincy and has like traveled all the way up the Commonwealth through raiders and shit should be a badass.
He should be a lot more interesting than he was. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, on that
But
bombshell, I think
yeah.
it's time to end the
Hey.
podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to our inane ramblings about AI, about stupid shit
All
Konami
out.
has done, and Fallout. Thank you guys. We will raid out now, I think. Let's have a look at who is live right now.
Is there
Who?
a sound effect for that? We can get for raiding.
Uh,
Quite funny.
I would.
Oh, going to the Fallout thing, we could always be like the sight of your own blood. Something like
No, pay with up. No, that's Oblivion. Never mind.
that. Whether the fiends from New Vegas always repeated that line over and over again.
Yeah. Let's raid a loofah. He's a friend of mine. I guess a sort of a he's he's a fellow Mushi. He's playing something called Turbo Kid right now, which I don't know what that is, but I'm very curious to find out what that is. Looks like some sort of weird Metroidvania looking thing.
Nepo Kid. All right.
Right. Thank you guys.
Ah,
Red
okay.
message is below. Wait, no, not Red Turbo
See
Kid.
you in a
Raid a
couple of weeks.
loofah. Yes. See you in a couple weeks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye all. Don't forget the red message below. Exclamation mark raid. See you all. Have a goose one. Bye.
Pardon me.
Raid now. Right. Quickly